Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. Follow me on Instagram at Perry Flips with a Z. Pothead Picker on X. Flips and Giggles is the name on Facebook. It's also the name of our Whatnot page or store, whatever you want to call it. And it's also what we go by on eBay. So that's the eBay store as well. If you like the podcast, make sure you are telling people about it and you're subscribed. You've got notifications on so you know when each episode comes out. Usually it's Wednesdays. Lately it's been Wednesday. I'm going to try to keep Wednesday as the day as long as I can. I'm trying to keep it more consistent. And it's just kind of been working out on Wednesdays. We do the auctions on Wednesdays, so I release this. And then at night we do the live auction. It's kind of a lot sometimes, but honestly, it's not, I've kind of learned that like I need to take it a little bit more easy on Wednesdays. It's crazy. Monday used to be my crazy day because I would have like so many packages from eBay. And then I would have to go to and then trash day is Monday, so I have to take out the trash for like the whole fucking house. Several trash barrels. Several floors. It's not like a huge thing. It's just one thing that I have to make sure that gets done. And it does take 30 to 45 minutes of the day. And then we had gymnastics. So Mondays for a while were really crazy. And now it's kind of shifted to Wednesday. Monday through Wednesday, really, because my daughter does gymnastics on Tuesday. So Monday through Wednesday now are kind of a little bit hectic. And then Thursday, Friday, I'm I get a little chance to breathe and I have to start fucking schoolwork. I can't wait to be done with school. I think I told you guys that I fucked up and had to go with my hat in hand to my teacher to be like, hey, sorry, I fucked up. I'm an idiot. Luckily I wasn't a dick to her or anything. I just wanted to get my assignment counted, but I submitted the wrong thing. And she was like, yeah, you didn't submit the assignment right. That's why you got a 0. I'm like, oh, okay. It wasn't because I didn't submit it. She's like, no, you submitted the wrong thing and you're asking me about it too late. I'm like, fair enough, thank you. So yeah, can't wait for that to be done. I've got the spring semester already booked, and then the next and then fall, and then I'm done. I'm like, if it was longer than that, I probably would just drop out again. My 5th school I've dropped out. Let me count. I did my first school, which was right out of high school. I did not want to go to college out of high school. I wasn't my mom wanted me to go. That boomer mentality of you have to go to school and saddle yourself with fucking debt. And so I applied to 5 schools. I got into every school that I applied for. I was I'm basically the same student now that I was then, except I'm a little bit more receptive to the information. Back then I just was I could get by just doing the bare, and I'm not a smart person. I'm really not. I feel when I'm studying stuff or reading stuff, I just am good at picking up the key points without having to fucking read every single word. I'm pretty good at getting the gist of things and then applying it to real life and shit. But yeah, so I got the first school I went to, I got into every school, and then the one that gave me the most money to go was the one that was of course the next town over. And so I was commuting to school. I should have just stayed there. You know what I mean? It would have been, I think I would have liked it a lot more. I probably would have fucked up a lot more. Because just going as a commuter, I would just go there. But then when you're the commuter and everybody lives there, you kind of feel you're not in with everybody. You know what I mean? You're just some fucking guy. Yeah, I go here. Oh, you know what I mean? You look like you're somebody's cousin that just came to visit, because everybody's oh, especially me, because I barely went to school. So when I would show up to shit, people are who the fuck are you? I'm oh, I'm friends with these guys. And yeah, and so when you're not actually living there and you're just kind of commuting, it's kind of weird. And so I went there and just, yeah, I did a year, I think a year and a half, and they kicked me out, or they were you can either leave or we can kick you out. And that was after my second chance. I wasn't like doing anything bad. I just would skip class to fuck around and do drugs and shit. And then the next school I went to, I forget where I went. I was trying to get into another school. Oh no, I had to do community college in the summer for that school. So I went to community college. I had to do like 2 classes in community college, and then went back to that school, got kicked out of that school. And then I went out to California. When I moved to California, I was like, oh, you can be a resident of California and school is free. And so like I was like, oh, I'll go do that. I'll go do state school in California. And I signed up for a class, and I think I went to 2 classes, and I was like, I'm done with this. I don't think I submitted any of the assignments, because you paid by the class in California. So it was like $30 or $40 for like the class. That was it. And that was like all you had to pay. And like, so I already paid for it, and I was just like, I don't feel like fucking going to this. Because it wasn't like, I wasn't like strapped with debt. And the first one that I went to, I had a little bit of student loans, but it's like we paid that shit off like years ago. It wasn't like a ton because I didn't finish, thankfully. I think it was probably like a blessing that I didn't finish. Because yeah, like I think I just had like a couple thousand in student loans, and like I totaled my car. And then we used like the rest or like I got money from my grant. No, I totaled my car. That's what it was. I totaled my car, got a piece of shit car, and we used like the rest to pay off my student loans. And I don't know why I'm talking about fucking college right now. But yeah, I'm just lucky. I would have been strapped with fucking a ton of debt, and yeah, I just didn't want to go to school right out of college. It was weird. It wasn't. It just didn't sound appealing to me. It still doesn't, even now that I'm in it. I'm back in it. And luckily it's been online only. I'm going to fucking be pissed if I get to like the last fall course and they're like, you got to do one in class. I'm like, fuck, I might not do it. We'll see. I mean, if it's just one class and I don't have to do like homework and shit, fuck, I'll do that rather than like, all this homework and shit. But yeah, I've got a couple more weeks of this semester, and I've got a paper to write. I haven't even started it. Every week the teacher's like, make sure you're working on your papers. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of doing it because there's discussion shit, and like it's all kind of related to your paper. So I'm just kind of putting it in one folder, and I'll just kind of make that into a paper. Do what I always do it the night before, and be like, all right, I'm done. And then still somehow pass. Yeah, I don't know. That's been my whole life with school. I've never been an overachiever in school. Overachiever in school. I've never been on like a dean's list. I was on the honor roll and shit, I think, maybe in high school. But yeah, I was never like, vying to like be the valedictorian and shit. Like I was just happy not being completely retarded, just being like a little bit fucking slow, and still managed to like, make it through the world. So yeah, we have another Whatnot show tonight. Enough about fucking my college career. We have another Whatnot show tonight. And it's like our first, we're doing I'm sorry if you're tired of hearing about Whatnot, but this is like what we're doing kind of now. I'm not completely done with eBay, but I am. So this week we're starting. So we have a garage sale style show tonight. If you're listening to this when this comes out, the day this comes out. So tonight. And so we've got like 200 plus items. It was all stuff that I've had sitting forever and haven't gone through, kind of like what we've been going through. Like little keychains, pins, all types of shit, like dolls. It's a smalls and dolls show, so that's what it's called. But we've got like a ton of stuff ready for the auction. And then I also put like, you can load your shop full of stuff. So it's our first time loading the shop for a sale, with stuff that's at set prices. So if that goes well, we sell some. I put some rare Barbies. Those rare. I'll get to the rare Barbies I got. So I put some like more expensive things in there, just to kind of see, what will happen. And yeah, we've been working harder on Whatnot. Like, I want to get a bunch of stuff up on eBay just because Black Friday is coming up, and Black Friday is always a big day for me. So I'm trying to have a bunch of stuff up so I can do a sale on Black Friday. We're going to do a Black Friday show. We weren't going to, but it's zero commission on Whatnot. So we are going to do a Black Friday show. I'm not sure even what we're going to do yet. We're still kind of coming up with ideas. But yeah, so tonight's like the first night that we're actually utilizing that like buy it now shop to try and sell some stuff. And I'm hoping that it goes well and that, we sell at least a couple of those rare, valuable dolls. And, we'll see. I mean, if if it goes well, we might start moving away from doing like expensive stuff on eBay altogether. It's been slower on eBay, and not like I've been listing, but not as much as I can. So it's hard to tell if it's like that. Typically the week before Thanksgiving week is usually slower. People usually like wait till the next week to see if they can get any deals. So, I kind of expected that. But yeah, Facebook, I've been doing well on Facebook. I sold a few things on Facebook this weekend. So those are always, it's nice now because when I first started, I just had eBay. And so like in this part of the year, eBay always takes a little bit of a slowdown right before it picks back up. And, you can feel the effects of that, especially if you're new in reselling. And, I now doing both Facebook and Whatnot, it's definitely like I could see the difference. You know what I mean? Like on a week where it's slow on eBay, I'm still getting paid because I've got, a Facebook one that pops up randomly. That's why like Facebook is nice for me because it's just randomly. It's not something that I'm like banking on every week. So if it pops up and I get a nice sale, it's really nice. So yeah, we're slowly moving in the direction we want to be moving in for the business. Like I've been talking about expanding the business for a while. I wasn't planning on it being this way. It just kind of worked out that way. We just kind of dabbled a bit on Whatnot. And like, part of the project that I'm doing for my school is talking about Whatnot because, I'm so into it right now. And that I was like, all right, it's a marketing class. So they're like, you pick a brand that you're familiar with that you're going to like see every day. So I was like, I'll pick that one because I'm still learning about it, growing this, whatever. And I can get credit for school. So I can kind of kill two birds with one stone. And one of the things I like research was like the amount of money or like just how big Whatnot's gotten since 2019. It's just like exploded faster than I think most companies like normally do. I'm not going to try to like lay out the technicalities of it right now, but essentially like they're valued at like $5 billion right now after like 6 years. And they're trying to compete with the Chinese market, which is like $500 billion. So like, kind of has an idea of where the growth is going. So I'm like, if I can get in on that, I missed the boat on TikTok. I don't really, want to do that style. I know that people sell on TikTok, but, I would prefer to sell like on a selling platform. And, yeah, I think we got in at a good time, and we're going to be, consistently on there and, consistently curating good shit, fun shit. And like, and we might have more valuable stuff going on there. I'm not going to go away from eBay just because it's, eBay is, as of right now, where I make all my money. But it's just kind of interesting to see like that shift, how quickly it's happening. Because you go on eBay, eBay's live. It just looks like all scammers. I'm like, they're not going to be able to compete with this shit the way they have it set up. And, you know how I feel about their customer service. It's fucking dog shit. So that's a little bit of, a little bit of it. But so yeah, tonight's going to be that first big show. So if you're listening to this now, sorry, there's a long way to promote the show. If you're listening to this right now, check out the show tonight at 8:30. We got giveaways. We got a ton of stuff. Like I said, stocking stuffers, all types of shit. So check it out. We really appreciate it. And then next week, we actually, next week is my wife's birthday and my birthday, 2 days apart. And so the day of my birthday is next Saturday. And so we got an invite to do a raid train. So a raid train is on Whatnot. If you get like a group of sellers together, the first seller starts the show. Let's say the show kicks off at 6, and then you go in like every 15 minutes intervals. So like, my set is at like 7:30 to 7:45, and then we raid into the next person. So we take everybody in our show and move it to the next show. So it just does that from one show to the next till it gets to the end. So we're towards the end because I think we are one of the newer sellers on this. And so, yeah, this will be our first time doing it. I'm hoping it's a good opportunity to get some like followers, and there's like no rules. So they said that we can either just sit there for 15 minutes and bullshit and talk, just have stuff loaded in to sell, or we can, do an auction for 15 minutes. But I think we're going to do some auctions. We're not going to do like full auctions. We'll have a couple of cool items to showcase, and then we'll have some stuff in the shop as well. So that's enough about Whatnot at this point. Although that person, that fucking customer that I was talking about, I thought I was done with them because like I had messaged them back like telling them how to do a return, and they're like, yeah. They 5 days later finally they messaged me like, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right, but I can't get help. And I'm like, well, there's a thing that just says like get it. Like it's, if I have to walk you through this, I can't. I've already like explained exactly how to do it, and they just, at this point I think they're hoping that I'll be like, hey, can I send you some money? You know what I mean? Like off the app, because there's no way for me to refund people on the app. Like in eBay, you can just refund people. On Whatnot, they have to actually request to be refunded. So I've like told them like several times how to do that, and they keep coming back like, I can't figure it out. I'm like, I've spelled it out for you. There's Google. Like I can't, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's the end of that nonsense. So yeah, that was last week. And then last week we had a sale. Sorry, this will be the last thing I'll talk about Whatnot. I know it's become a major segment of the show, but it helps because I get through the show quicker, especially in the off season. You know what I mean? When there's not too many yard sale stories to tell. And so, yeah, the last week one didn't go great. We did stuffed animals, and I kind of threw it together at the last minute. Definitely didn't make our money back. Probably lost money. But yeah, that wasn't my best idea. I went to like Savers to get a bunch of plush, overpaid. I can make some of my money back on eBay on like lots. So I'm not like too worried about it, but some of the stuff just was not selling at all. So I thought it would sell better. Took a chance on some stuff, but like I got a bunch of those the Serta sheep, the plush sheep from Serta mattresses that they give out everywhere or whatever. So I got a bunch of those, and I was hoping that those would sell, but that was kind of like one of those I found them for a decent price and took a chance on them. And yeah, they didn't do well, so that was kind of a dud. So it's kind of, we're still at that hit and miss stage. So that tonight I'm like, I have high hopes for tonight. It could be fucking terrible and nobody comes and nobody shows up. I don't think that's going to be the case, just based on the type of show that we're doing, and we've got so much stuff. So I think that we'll do pretty good, but we'll see. I'll temper my expectations. And then last week, so Friday, there was a sale. It said like huge garage sale. So it had like Pokemon cards, Kobe Bryant rookie cards, like all types of shit. And so it said the address in the thing, said everything. And it was starting at 7 a.m. So I was like, oh, I could get up, get the girls dressed, like take them there first, and then drive and still be in time be at the school in time for drop off. And I'm just like, as close as it got closer to it, I was like, there's no fucking way I'm going to get them up that early. Like it's not going to happen. So I just was like, you know what? I'll wake up regular time. We'll get them to school, and then we'll just shoot over there afterwards, see whatever's left over. We're not going to be first, but whatever. So we go to school, drop my kid off, get on the highway, drive to this sale, and there's nothing. No sign of a sale, no sign of people, no sign of anything. I'm like, oh, there's no sale here today. And double check the ad, everything lined up. It was supposed to be starting at 7 that day, that address. And I'm like, so thankful that I didn't get these kids up at like the crack of dawn to go to this sale, and then it didn't happen. That would have fucking sucked. My kids would have been so mad. So I let them, I let them off the hook for that one. And then Saturday, so there's an estate sale and company that does like a digital list. So whenever they put their sales out, they'll send an email out with a sign up. So I got on the sign up pretty quick before it filled up. So I was like number 12 for the sale, but I wasn't really into the sale. Like, and they go do the numbers fast. So like they will just call your numbers and you can like bullshit your numbers. Like that was the one that I did that time that wasn't that many people there. And I could tell this guy had just made up his number. So I just did the same right after him to go in. And, so this one I signed up for and I was like number 12. And there wasn't a ton of stuff that I was interested in. And so I was doing my like last round of checks in the morning. Luckily I got up a little earlier because I was still kind of planning on that sale. And I saw an ad. It was a estate sale company was having a sale. And it was in Rhode Island, which is like, depending on where it is, was like 45 minutes to an hour from me. So I was like, fuck it. Like my wife's home with the kids. The other sale doesn't look promising. There's not a ton of sales. And this sale had like video games, like vintage clothes and shit. So I was like, all right, it's worth the 45-minute drive. Like, I might not get the video games, but if I'm early enough, I might. So I got there at like 7. What time was it? I got there like 6:45, 7 o'clock, something like that. And they were giving out numbers at 7:30. And like where the estate sales near me are always fucking packed. Like yard sales are never as packed as estate sales around here. It's so weird. Some of the estate sales here are always packed. So I was getting there not knowing what to expect. And so I get there and there's only like 4 other people ahead of me. So I'm like, fuck yeah, like I'll be number 5. Sweet. And I hear the one guy talking to somebody. There's always one guy in a group of people waiting for an estate sale that like needs to know what everybody's doing. And he's like, oh, what are you there looking for? And he asked the first guy that was there. And he said he was there for the video game. So, that helped me kind of formulate my plan going in. I'm like, all right, this guy's going to go right for the video games. And had I been number 5, actually, I would have probably like tried to not race him to the video games, but at least gone to snag some of them. Because there was like 2 shelves. He wouldn't have been able to take them all. And he left a bunch. Like I went down afterwards and there was people going through the video games that he left. So I could have still gone down and got some video games, but I had a feeling he was going to take all the good shit. And so I was like, I'll just go to where the clothes are. There was like some old t-shirts that looked okay. And, here's the other thing. So yeah, I thought I was number 5. So they, go to give out the numbers at 7:30 and there's like people in front of me and they're like, oh, we need 2 more. So like each person that was already there was getting him for their friends and shit. So I ended up being like number 9, which wasn't bad. I got in there, got to the closet. There was some lady somehow got to the closet before me. So like, I was like, whatever. I was in this house before you. Like, I don't know how you got to this closet before me, but so I just kind of like, I didn't like crowd her space. I just went like, and there were some boxes on the ground that I was more interested in. So I went down on her. Went down to the, like, crouched down to the boxes and was going through. They had a bunch of like t-shirts. So I got a Metallica tour t-shirt from like 2008. Not crazy old, but like, still kind of considered Y2K vintage. You can put that on there. People aren't going to say shit. And then I found a cool like mail away Wolverine t-shirt. It's an extra large. I'm so tempted to keep it, but I'm like, what the fuck? Like what? I'm going to wear it. And then like, you know what I mean? Like I have such a problem wearing vintage shit. Like I want to, but if it was a $20 t-shirt, no problem. I would wear it all day, but it's like at least probably like a $75 to $100 t-shirt. It's like single stitch. It was a mail away t-shirt. There's a few on eBay that are like, asking over $100 for it. But realistically, I could probably sell it quick for like $75 to $80. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna sell it as much as I want to keep it. It's fucking sick. It says Marvel Comics on the front. Big ass Wolverine picture on the back. Super sick shirt. So I found that one that was just like hanging up in that closet. So I found a bunch of like good college stuff, a couple like smaller shirts. So I got that stuff, like definitely worth going and driving. If I had gone super early to that one, I would have been annoyed because they were talking outside, the estate sale people, and they were talking about how like, this guy got there, he thought he was the first one. The guy who was there for the video games was already there before him, and that was at like 6 a.m. So like I would have probably got there at 6 a.m. and been pissed that I drove all the way there just to be second. So I'm glad I saw it at the last minute. And yeah, I always forget, like, it's the time of the season. So like yard sale season ends, and yard sale season is very much like you're kind of out there on your own. You're like, each sale, usually like sales are starting. You're not really waiting in line. But like estate sales, there's always, they almost always make you wait. Sometimes if it's like a private, like, family run estate sale, they'll let you in early if they're there already, whatever. But the companies that do estate sales almost never let people in early, because I'm sure they have to hear about it from people bitching, you know what I mean? So like I get it. And so like now it's the time of year where it's only exclusively estate sales where we are. There'll be a garage sale occasionally, but it's going to be mostly estate sales. And so I just always forget the fucking people that go and wait for early bird estate sales. I just sit there quietly listening to everybody. Like, there was one guy who was like, he was mad because the other guy got a number before him, and he thought that he was there, like, it was like the difference of a number or two. And they knew that they weren't there for the same thing. But this guy like complained to one of the other guys in line, and he had to take the other guy aside and be like, hey, he was here first. But it was fucking crazy. Like, I've never seen grown men. I mean, I've seen it because I'm used to, estate sales before, but it's just like, dude, he's not even going for the shit that you want. And like, he's just like bummed out, like made a whole big stink about it. And then there's like, there's always the guy that like, I think this guy was the same guy, but there's always the guy in the yard sale line that has to let you know that he knows everybody. He's like, he's outside. He's like, come on, Sue, open up. I'm like, nobody gives a fuck that you know the estate sale people. We really do not care. Like, we're all just here to fucking buy some shit and whatever. But yeah, the rest of the sale was cool. There was a ton of shit. There was a couple like stuffies. Their stuffy prices were crazy though. So I only got a couple small ones that I could use for our whatnot. There was a few that I wanted that, and then they had some trading cards that were sealed. I was hoping to get some of those, but those were all like priced above eBay. I thought about going back the next day, but it was a long drive for them to not be there. So I got a bunch of good stuff, a couple other like smalls, and like a DVD set that's probably worth a little bit of money. But yeah, it's just funny. I forgot how estate sale people are. It's like, they're just so fucking nuts. They're like the craziest fucking people, man. I'll still never forget the time that the guy like cut in front of everybody, this old guy, and he just tripped and nobody held him. Like, it wasn't like he was like, oh, I'm going up because I'm old or whatever. He like legit just cut in front of everybody, walked in, like trying to run into the house, and just like tripped down the first little 2-step flight and like fell on the ground. And the people right behind him just walked right behind. I was one of them. I walked right behind that guy because he pushed past me. I was like, fuck you, dude. You just fucking shoved right past me and did this to yourself. Like, he was an old guy too. Like, that was like a fall that could have probably fucked him up for good. But he was just like trying to get to an estate sale. That shit was so funny. But yeah, estate sale time, man. It's around here. You have to get there early. There's one company that does them. They always have dope shit. Like, I don't know how this is. They always have dope shit. It's like, do you only accept the dope ones and just say fuck off to the shitty ones? Because every time they have a sale, they have like the coolest shit, coolest vintage t-shirts. Like, they almost look like they curated the sale. And then when you get there, their prices aren't crazy. I've been to I went to one of their sales when I first moved back here, because I didn't know, I was first learning how estate sales and all that shit worked. So I just saw this cool sale that was like, advertised, and I knew that you had to get there a little early. And this sale was like 2.5 hours from my house. And like, I took like my cousin's, boyfriend, I think, went with me. I was like, yeah, you want to come fucking to this thing early? I don't do this shit ever. Like, when I first started reselling, I used to do crazy shit like this for inventory. It's a waste of time. That was like 5 hours of driving for nothing, like for like a couple $100. It was fucking shitty. So I went to their sale, and I got there at like 5 a.m. because they had, I think, a Boba Fett figure. And I got there at 5 a.m. There was cars everywhere, and it was snowing out. Like, it was shitty weather. And I got like number 35 or something like that. It was fucking crazy. So like, they have a sale They had one last week that I was going to go to, but it's, again, you have to get there like at the ass crack of dawn for those sales. I think people get there to their sales at like 4:35 and just wait. Like, it's not, some of that stuff is not worth it, especially with the prices that you're going to pay and the time that you're going to spend. I just don't understand it. So there's a couple of storage units that are in my area that look promising. There's like a handful of them, like, 5 or 6. So I'm hoping to get one of those. I'm sorry I'm saying like a lot. My fucking kid has started saying like a lot now, and so it's like rubbed off on me. Fucking shitty. I'll try to be better about not saying it as much now that I'm conscious of it. Sorry, that was like an inhale burp something. So yeah, I'm hoping that we can lock down a couple of these storage units. So yeah, I started Christmas music a few weeks ago. I started forcing my kids to listen to it. It's just like I said last year around this time. You listen to so much kids music, or like this year we've been listening to nothing but K-pop Demon Hunters on repeat. My youngest, the song's called Golden, and they say gonna be golden, and she always asks for gibbity gibbity golden, and we have to listen to it over and over and over again. It's a dope song. I'm not gonna lie, some of those songs are pretty sick. But we started the movie and it was too scary for them. That's what they said. They said it was too scary, so we had to shut it off after like 30 minutes. And yeah, but now we listen to the music a ton. So Christmas music is not a huge, I like it. And when I worked restaurant and retail, everybody hated working with me. I don't know if I've said this before, but I would put on Christmas music as soon as Halloween was done. Because there was like there I go again. I don't know why I'm doing it. I feel like fucking A. I'm just going to stop talking. No, they have Muzak or whatever the corporate radio is. It's not exactly the same songs, but it's similar songs that they play. And so they would have different stations, and there was a Christmas holiday station. And so as soon as November 1st would hit, I would just start putting that on. I'm sorry if I said this story last week. I thought I was going to talk about it, but I don't think I did. So I apologize if this is a 2-week story. I don't think it is, though. But I would always put that shit on. In the restaurant, too, I would put it on November 1st. But it was for different reasons. So in the restaurant, I found that when you had Christmas music on, and in restaurants, like not most of the time, but like a good portion of the time, you're going to get shitty, just like asshole customers. It's just because like that's some people's only chance to be served by another person. And like, I'm not served by another person. I'm not, I don't have cleaning people or anything like that. But some people, because it's usually a shitty type of person, some people like feel that little bit of control or power over the server, and they're just kind of a nightmare. And so when Christmas would come around, I would put that shit on like as soon as November 1st hit, because people would generally be in a better mood. Like, you wouldn't get as many assholes, and people thought I was crazy. I'm like, I'm telling you, and the tips were better because it's like a gentle reminder that, hey, it's the holidays. It's a subconscious, like, so if you're in service industry and you're a restaurant person and you work in a place where you have control over the music, put the fucking music on Christmas stuff. I guarantee you your tips will go up. Guarantee it. If they don't, you can call me an asshole in the comments. I don't care. I'm telling you for sure that I worked restaurant for like 10 plus years, and every single fall I would do the same shit. November 1st, my fucking employee, anybody who worked with me hated it. But I'm like, your tips are going to like it. I was like, if you hate the Christmas music that much, then you hate money. Because like it just makes people want to tip you more. It's like, oh yeah, that's right, it is the holidays. It's November fucking 2nd. You know what I mean? Like, so you got to get that shit on. And then retail, I would do it. Same reason. You get people in the mood to buy stuff. They're in there to do something. They hear, oh, the weather outside is frightful. And they remember that they haven't got any presents for anybody, or they have to get something. So they buy some shit from you while they were there. Or they're in there just, again, a better mood. Like, people are more nostalgic. I would like even leave it on into January sometimes. No, that didn't really work. That's when people were like, all right, dude, enough. Enough is enough. We made our money. Let's keep going. But yeah, that was, people hated working with me. But I'm telling you, if you work restaurant and you have the ability to change the music, try it out and let me know. Let me know how it goes. Let me know how it goes. I just realized that a bunch of the stuff that I wrote down to talk about this week was basically like all in one story, and I already covered it. I'm not hurting for stuff to talk about. We should be good. But I just thought that was funny. I'm terrible at writing out notes for shit. So then that weekend, so after the weekend happened, I found a rare Facebook Marketplace find. Rare in both, like, because they never happen anymore, and like in the what the items were. So somebody posted, I don't even know, I think it might have just been posted that morning a few hours earlier, the day before, but it was a Barbie lot. And normally I don't look twice at a Barbie lot. They had it listed for $300. It was like Disney Barbies, and then they had these other Barbies included in the bottom. But their ad, you got to look for people fucking up with their ads, man, because the ads can really make or break. That's what I found. Anytime I get lucky on Facebook Marketplace, because they fucked up the ad. And so they posted Disney Store or Disney Princesses or something like that as the title. So like all you could see at first was the Disney Barbies, but then they had like another 8 to 10. I think it was 8 of them, or maybe it was 10. I can't remember. I think 8. 8 Barbies from like a line of Barbies in 2006 from like a Barbie DVD special. And almost all of them were going for like, between 80 and 100 up to like, I have one listed for 600 in our buy it now for the Whatnot show tonight. So those, and then those will probably end up on eBay if they don't sell. Though if those sell on the Whatnot stream tonight, it's tonight, and we sell out of like even those, then I'll probably shut my eBay store down and tell my wife like, all right, we're just going to do full-time Whatnot. You know what I mean? We don't need to waste our time with eBay anymore. But we'll see. I'm keeping my expectations low. I don't expect to sell any of the higher end things, but you never know. All you need is that one buyer with a little bit of money that they're looking for one thing. But anytime I find Barbies like that, like you can kind of tell with Barbies, like, oh, this one is shitty. Those stupid holiday Barbies that are fucking everywhere. Or, there was even another Barbie that was just like random. It was like Easter surprise Barbie. That was brand new in with the other ones. And it's like a $10, $10 fucking doll. It's not anything worth a ton of money. So Barbie stuff, like, unless it's like the vintage stuff, I typically avoid it. But like, yeah, if you find certain stuff, I always look it up. So I looked them up before I reached out. And they were asking $300 for the lot. So there was 10 Disney, 8 of the other ones. So it was 19 total for $300 is what they were asking. So I sent a message, was like, hey, you guys firm on the price. They said they could work with a little, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, would you do 175? They said 200. I said, fine. So I had to go actually to my old hometown, which is like 45 minutes from me, I was kind of nervous because it's part of it is in the hood. So when it takes you there, it gets you off at the highway by like the mall, and then it's kind of like, all right, I don't live there anymore, so I always have to kind of remember where I'm at. So as I was driving, I'm like, oh, I can't remember if I'm going to a good part of the town or not. I know I'm like kind of near the not so nice part, and I don't mind driving through there, but going to pick up Facebook Marketplace is a different story. You know what I mean? If I drove up to one of the houses in the neighborhood, I know, like, all right, I'm fucking out of here, dude. I remember one time I was delivering pizzas, and I swear these kids were trying to steal my car. So I was delivering a pizza, and it was in like a really ghetto area of where I grew up. And there was like these 3 dudes on a fucking step, and I was delivering the pizza to one house. I was walking back to my car, and they were like across the street, and they're like, yo, that's a nice car. And at the time I had a Scion TC. I don't know if you remember when the Scion TCs came out. They were like fully, I've talked about this before, I think. They're like fully customizable. And yeah, my grandmother died, so I spent that money on that like a fucking idiot. And so it was like tricked out. So they were like, saw this car, like, oh, it's a sick car, blah, 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 blah. And so as I was walking towards the car, they're like, yeah, you should let us drive it. And they started to like get up off the step to start to walk across the street. And I was like halfway there. I was like, yeah, you got to catch me first. And I got it. And I fucking took off. I was like, fuck that, dude. And like, yeah, I used to deliver pizza in some shady areas. It was never that bad because it's like during the day. Like I did mostly the lunch, but occasionally when I would have to work like the dinner, you would go to some places that you were just like, fuck, man, I'm going to get robbed. And that was a place, I think I've talked about this before. I worked with a guy who was like anorexic. He was this fucking skinny dude. His teeth were all fucking nasty from like being bulimic at one point and puking up shit and like not getting enough nutrients. He's a super nice guy, nicest fucking dude I ever worked with, really. And but he would just drink Pepsi and coleslaw, the little containers of coleslaw, like the little ramekins of coleslaw that they would give to people as like, you know, with fish and chips or whatever. He would drink Pepsi and he would eat those coleslaw things. And he worked there forever. He's got to be dead by now because he like looked like shit most of the time. But again, super nice guy. But he was like openly anorexic for previously. He's like, yeah, I used to be anorexic. I'm like, I think you still might be. You're drinking Pepsi and eating coleslaw. Like that's all he ever ate. When they would give him free food to go, that's what he would take, is like a Pepsi and a little thing of coleslaw. That was fucking it. And but yeah, he was there forever. I can only imagine some of the shit he saw delivering pizza in that city, man. Like, you don't even think about it when you're younger. When you're older, I'm like, I would never fucking do that. Like, never. I was on the nicer side of town too, and I still would like have to go to some sketchy ass fucking places that were trying to rob you for something. Anyway, I don't even remember how I got on that topic. What did I say? I don't even remember what the fuck else I was. I feel like I was getting to a point when I was just talking about that. What was I just talking about? Oh yeah, delivering pizza. Oh yeah, so anyway, so yeah, I had to go back to my hometown. So that's where I went to go pick him up. But it was actually like in a nice neighborhood. It was actually like near where a couple of friends I had growing up. So I was like, oh, I know this area. Like I'm not like gonna get shot or stabbed. Plus it was early enough, like nobody's up causing trouble at 8 or 9 in the morning. Never. You don't see anybody walking around like the hood early. Occasionally you'll see somebody, but most of the time there's nobody there. Like when I go to yard sales and shit in the hood, you'll pull up, there's nobody out, and then like, you know, you go back later in the day, you can barely drive because there's people running across the street, cars pulling out of nowhere. But yeah, in the morning, those yard sale hours, peak. All right, let's move on. Walmart. Oh yeah, so I went to Walmart the other night. My wife was like buying some stuff to donate. She's been in like the donate fucking mood. She's been really interested in the hurricanes in Jamaica. Like I know there's like crazy shit that happens all over the world, and like there's, you know, it's fucked up whenever stuff like that happens, and you know, it's fucked up because we can't really control any of it. But there's just certain things that like my wife will like latch on to, and that's been one of them. Like the second they started talking about it, she's like, "Oh my God, Jamaica." I'm like, it's like a hurricane last year that devastated some other country, like similar country, but for some reason she's just been like Jamaica. So I'm like, okay, you know, okay, white lady. Yeah. Yeah, so she bought some shit to like donate to that, but she forgot her card or something and she couldn't use her phone to pay. So she had just got home from work, so I was like, I can go. You can fucking hang out with the kids. Like I've been with them all day. They want to see you anyway. So like, you know, so I'll run out. So I went to Walmart. I did the self-checkout, and like, mind you, these groceries are sitting there. Like I came back to pay for these groceries. They'd already been like put in the bag and were sitting there. The lady was like, helped me get it all back up so I could just pay. I pay, walk from the self-checkout, which is right there, which you can see. He saw the lady working with me, all that shit. I walk over, the guy's like, can I see your receipt? I'm like, all right. So I hand it to him. I go, what would you have done if I got the emailed copy? And he goes, oh, yeah, you can get an email copy. He didn't understand what I was saying. Like, like basically, what would you check if I didn't have this receipt? So I left. And then the next morning, I sold something else that was like a bigger item, so I had to go to Walmart to pick it up. So I went to Walmart, and that same guy was there. And so I was like, I'm not going to get a receipt. I'm going to do the digital receipt. So I paid for it, did the digital receipt. And as I'm walking out, he goes, can I see your receipt? And I go, I did the digital one, man. I'm sorry. He just like looked at me like he got fucking like he almost got like butt hurt. Like he was like oh like disappointed. And I was like, yeah, so I just walked out. So I'm gonna do that from now on, just because it's fucking annoying that they don't hire enough people to scan shit at the grocery store, whatever the fuck it is. Scan you out, the cashiers. They don't have enough cashiers. Sorry, that fucking cashiers. And then they want to check your work on top of that. Like, you're not even fucking paying for it. You should get a discount for fucking going through the self-checkout. Like, you should get some money off. They shouldn't accuse you of stealing every time you go through their stupid fucking system. This is your system, not mine. This is the only fucking register that's open, because you got one person on there, one old lady her fucking fingers are crooked from arthritis. They put the greeters like as cashiers now. The greeters are like cashiers, and they have some weird fucking autistic guy at the door checking your fucking receipts as you walk out. He's not even safety loss prevention. He's not even a greeter anymore. I don't know what the fuck they are. It's just some fucking guy who's like socially awkward, who's just like, what the fuck? The fuck are you checking my receipt for? So yeah, from now on, I'm doing the digital receipt, and they can suck my dick. Not that guy, but maybe the crackhead lady that's there. And then I was remembering, this was like years ago. This has nothing to do with anything I've talked about, but this was just something I remembered randomly. So when me and my wife lived in Washington a few years back before we had our kids, the house we moved into was a Nielsen house. So what that means is, like, if you're selected, then you get to be a Nielsen family. And it's basically annoying as fuck. We were a Nielsen family for I think like 1 or 2 years. They give you money. They do give you money, but they monitor what you watch on TV. And so like when shit's on TV, like I think the Nielsen ratings are like what affects what stays on TV. That's what it was explained to me as. They were like, you have a lot of power. If what you like is, you can watch it on blah, 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 blah. I didn't explain that right. So basically, like, if you're watching it as a Nielsen family, you account for X amount of families. So, like, we accounted for, like, I don't know how many thousands of people, essentially, as a Nielsen family. So, like, what we watched was, like, they were reporting back. It's like, oh, these are the shows that we should keep on. That's how it was explained to me. And then we got paid for them to monitor our television for a few years. And then they just stopped. They come and take all the shit. They had like these things that they have to come install. And then they have to come like every couple months to check on it and like see if you have any issues. And like, yeah, they would even be like, do you want us to do it on your computer? I was like, fuck no. They would pay you more. But they're like, do you want us to monitor your computer? Like, no, fuck no. You can do the fucking TV, but that's it. So we were like a Nielsen family for a few years. It was crazy. It never happened again, never before. It was just a random like chance thing. Where we moved was a Nielsen house. And because we were there at like a certain time, we were able to be a Nielsen family. So they basically told us we had a lot of power. I took that to head. I was like, we have a responsibility to watch good shit. And then when shit would get canceled, like, oh, this is bullshit. Like, I've been watching that show. It got fucking canceled. It's bullshit. But I don't know. So if your show got canceled, a couple years back, it was because I wasn't watching it. I don't know. Oh, man. I've noticed lately that, like, I'll say some shit to my kids, and I'm like, fuck, man, I sound like my fucking gas mom right now. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck's wrong with me? You have to like talk to your kids a certain way sometimes, and it's just kind of you feel embarrassed for yourself. You're like, fuck, man, I can't believe how embarrassing I am. We went back to that hiking trail. I don't know if I talked about this before, but we found a hike. Oh yeah, I did, because I dropped the can. I went back to that hiking trail. I was like, all right, we're gonna try and find that can. I did find a can that was like torn up, that was on the trail. And I did leave it. It was all sharp and shit. I don't know what happened. I don't know if that was our can that like got torn up going down the river and somehow ended up back over there. But I was like, I'm not doing that again. I'm just going to leave that shit. Somebody else can pick it up. But yeah, we walked that trail again. We went a little bit earlier in the day and brought my wife, so she got to go and hang out. But yeah, they're into it. I love how into it my fucking kids are. And they don't get fucking hyperactive like they do on the playground. Like, the playground's cool and shit, but like, I I feel like they come back with a lot of energy. Even though they like run around and climb on shit and do a bunch of stuff, I still think that they don't burn as much energy. And it's like more of a calm energy that they're burning when they're out in the fucking woods and shit. It's weird. I don't know. I'm sure there's studies and shit on it. But even the playground's not, I don't think that the playground's designed to be overstimulating, but for some reason when we go there, they're just fucking running around. They want to jump on everything, do everything. But we're in the woods. It's like, you know, there's a tree, there's some shit to look at. Ooh, sticks, rocks. Let's throw some rocks in the water. You know what I mean? They are all over the place, but it's more calm and like, and they're still exerting a lot of energy because their little legs are hiking and shit. I don't carry them on the hikes. I'm like, you gotta walk. Got their little fucking broken sticks. Let me think. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about this week. I've got that thing this weekend. I've got, what's it called? I already forgot what it is. It's like a high school football Hall of Fame thing for a guy I played football with. There you go. Thank you. I talked about it a couple weeks. So I got that coming up, and that's actually going back to the same town that the same city or whatever that I was in to pick up those Barbies where I grew up. So that should be fun. I'm not sure how that's going to go. I don't even really know who's going to be there. I know it's going to be like people that I played football with. But it's been so long since I've seen anybody that I played football with that I don't even think, I never had like problems or drama or shit with anybody. It's a football team. There's only so much, crazy shit that can happen. But it's always interesting to see people when you haven't seen them in a while. You figure out what the fuck's been going on. I thought about dressing like I dress when I go to yard sales, but I might wear like a suit and try to look a little bit nice. I haven't decided yet. I've got one suit that I still have from when I was selling cell phones. I think I wore that suit when I went to go fight my traffic ticket. I wore a suit to go talk to these fucking guys. Which, update on that, I'm not jinxing anything, but I'm getting there. It's February, so what is it, like 3 months down? I think August was when I had my last hearing. So like I've got 6 months, I think, until that stupid speeding ticket falls off. So yeah, I can't get pulled over. I've been driving like less than the speed limit. I wasn't a big speeder before. I'm not a big I almost said speed racer. I'm not a big speed racer. I'm not somebody who speeds a lot. I'm never in a rush. I'm in a rush, but just like most of the time, I'm just like, I don't need to be anywhere that fast. Even when I was younger and people would fly by me, I would like race them and shit. But it's just not, especially when I have kids in the car. Occasionally I'll fuck with people if my kids aren't in the car. You know what I mean? My favorite time I fucked with somebody, I was driving, and you shouldn't do this ever. This was on like the same stretch of highway where that guy followed me to Walmart because he said I cut him off, and he whispered it to me in the park. That was fucking crazy. I've talked about that before, so I'm not going to bring that one up. But it was like on the same stretch of highway going the other way, and this fucking car was going like noticeably under the speed limit, like 10 to 15 miles under the speed limit. So I passed them, and like as I was passing them, there was a sign on the left side of the road that said like, whatever the speed limit was. I pointed to the sign like, yo, that's the speed limit. Because they were going way under it. And that fucking set them off. They started speeding up, trying to catch up to me. I was like, oh shit, I didn't mean to piss you off like that. So I just, I keep my calm in those situations, and I just kept trying to drive so that they couldn't get in front of me. Luckily, it was a busy stretch, so they couldn't get in front of me. They just kept getting madder and madder, and then I just got off the next exit, and they were gone. But yeah, I don't do anything like that anymore. It's not fucking worth it. It's definitely not worth it. So anyway, that's going to be the podcast for today. We did almost an hour. My fantasy football team's still doing well. If you've been following that, I'm 8-3. I made a trade last night to get me ready for the playoff push. Yeah, I'll let you know if I keep on winning. I got high points again, so in our league, anytime you get high points, you get $25 back off what you paid. So I owe $50. So I only owe 50 right now out of 150 because I've gotten high points 4 times. I would have a lot more points, but I fucking didn't play one guy over another, and It cost me. I mean, I still won, but anyway, that's the podcast. Check out the show tonight. If you're listening to this on Wednesday, we got a big show tonight. I just kind of said that like a British person. We got a big show. We've got a big show tonight. Lots of stuff, lots of different stuff. And, check out the show next week if I don't get the podcast out in time, because next week's kind of weird, but I should be able to get it out on Wednesday. Next week's Thanksgiving, so we're going to do a Black Friday show. We're not sure what we're doing yet, so no regularly scheduled show on Wednesday. We're going to do the Black Friday show, and then we've got our raid train on Saturday, and then we'll be back with another show the following Wednesday. So that's the schedule right now. I don't have the later shows up, but I do have the next 2 shows up. So if you're wanting to help us out, go follow and bookmark those shows on Whatnot. Like and subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you hit notifications so you know when the new episodes come out. It's available anywhere you get your podcasts, so you can get it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, whatever your choice is. And then follow me on Instagram at Perry Flips with a Z. Pothead Picker on X. I don't post much on X, but and then Flips and Giggles is the business name, so you can find that Facebook, eBay, and whatnot. I hope you guys are doing well in this off season. Hope you're still finding inventory. It can be tough to find inventory, man. I still feel like I don't have enough inventory, even though I have a ton of shit I haven't got to. But it's like, it's a new business model for me, so I'm still not kind of used to how it's going. I need to get organized. So once this year's done, I'm gonna retool the podcast. My plan is in January, because I'm gonna be out of school for like a month or so. So in early January, before I get sidetracked with other shit, I'm gonna reorganize my space, my workspace, and get the podcast like fully video ready to go. I'm gonna try to get together with my buddy and get it like, and have it going. And because we're growing. I've been looking at I don't look at the numbers often when I post it. I'm not like sitting there staring at the numbers, but I have noticed like a slight increase in fans. Not fans. Sorry, I felt so fucking gay. In listeners. I'm sorry that I just fucking lumped you in with me. People who listen to the show, I have seen an increased number each week kind of consistently. So I don't know if that's from the Whatnot or the Instagram or what, but thank you if you've been listening. We really appreciate it, and I'll be back again next week. Peace.